Interviews can be tough no matter how much you prepare for it. You just can never predict exactly what questions you'll be asked at the interview. Are these all myths or they are just questions? Let's get to the very fantastic question of today. Are job interviews getting tougher in 2025? I would say no. If you really understand the way that you need to prepare, then it will not be tough, it will not be hard, and then you would understand the questions or similar questions that you'll be asked at the interview. In today's video, I'm going to be telling you how you're going to crush your next job interview using strategies that actually work in today's hiring world. I'm going to break it down into 4 sections so that you understand the principles behind preparing for the job or for that job interview in the right way. So from AI screaming tricks to remote interview confidence, this video has got you covered. Let's get started and dive into it. Section, we'll be talking about understanding 2025 interview landscape. I'm sure you'll be wondering, what about 2025 interview landscape? Yes, interviews in 2025 are not what they used to be years ago. The kind of questions that have been asked has evolved. Today, companies are using artificial intelligence to screen you, analyze your tone, and even your facial expression, especially during virtual interviews. So you need to prepare twice as much as you would have done in previous years. A lot of companies are now looking for, candidates and applicants that are both technically sound and align with the values of the organization. You can measure competence by asking behavioral questions, but when it comes to measuring value, it is in your tone. It is in the way that you speak. It is subjective, or the perception that you have given the interviewer that creates that difference and showcases to the interviewers that you are the right candidate and that you have the right value of that organization. Imagine showcasing your value in just 30 minutes or 45 minutes. It's in every spoken words, every unspoken words, every body language, every attitude that you bring to the table. That's exactly what the interviewers are looking for. So you need to understand all of these because the landscape has changed. Things have changed. Even in the application section, a lot of things have changed. How would you understand it? You need to research. You need to know what the interviewers are looking for in 2025, and that's why I'm doing this video. So let's go to the second section. Now that you understand the 2025 interview landscape, let's talk about your narrative, right? So this second section is teaching, how you can master your story. Interviewers want more than your skills. They want a story that sticks, a story that aligns, and a story that flows from within. So there are different methods of mastering your story and communicating that to someone, especially to interviewers. This doesn't just apply to candidates or applicants. It is an important aspect of our life. So we need to understand, how do I master my story? Because that's the way you sell, that pitch, that part of you, that uniqueness or that unique part of you. What are you telling to that person? You want them to see you as important as you are. So how would we do that? We'll do that by the way we master our story. So whether you want to use the popular STAR method, which is situation, task, action, and result, or the SOAR method, which is situation, challenge, action, result, the CAR method, which is challenges, action, results, or the unpopular, but that's the one I prefer, I advocate for that, the DIGS method, which is describe, dramatizing the situation, interpret. How did that go? How did the situation go? How did you interpret the situation? What did you think really went on, or what did you think was beneath the surface? And once you've done that, you go to goals. Goals is go through what you did in that situation, or what did you do to achieve that goal. S, it stands for self-reflect. Summarize the impact that has caused to you and also to the other person. I usually advocate that when you're using either the STAR or the CAR or even the SOAR method, that you include the impact or the learning that you got from that method. It is because whatever you learn, or when you learn something from a situation, it sticks with you, it becomes a part of you, and it doesn't leave you. That impact is your story. This method, it gives you a deeper insight, and it also gives the interviewer a deeper insight of the situation and whatever that you have gone through. Using this method helps us. It helps to show your emotional intelligence, it helps to show your value, it helps to show your skills and your knowledge. So let's give an example of the DIGS method. I'm going to be using one today so that we'll understand how to use the DIGS method to say our story. Our question will be, give me an example of a time when you had a conflict with a team member and how did you resolve this? So let's get straight into it. Using the DIGS method, describing the situation, I'm going to use an example. At my previous job, I was part of a cross-functional team working on a product launch, and I had volunteered to lead the marketing strategy. Now, one of the product team member just started changing key launch details without consulting me or any other of the project management team. This was causing a lot of conflicts and confusion and changing our timeline multiple times. Interpreting the situation. At first, I was frustrated and presumed that this individual was undermining my role, and that had impact on me and on the team. But after pausing and reflecting on the situation, utilizing emotional intelligence, I comprehended that they might be doing this unintentionally, or they could have even been working under pressure or working in silos without knowing or without realizing what the ripple effect would be on the team. What was the goal? My ultimate goal was to create a more conducive, collaborative team that will be effective and achieve that result. So that's my goal. My goal was to create a team that was, cohesive, so that we can effectively achieve the goal of the project. I realized that there was a gap in the team. I was able to set weekly team catch up to ensure that everybody stays on the same page and everybody understands the goal of the team or of the project. On reflection, I learned that I shouldn't jump into conclusion, and now I understand the importance of setting processes or shared processes early in a project to avoid issues like this from happening again. That is it. That's the DIGS method. It was telling a story of how I encountered conflict with a team member and how I was able to resolve it. Now, I was saying the goals, I self-reflected, and I was also saying the impact of whatever that I had learned from that. Section 3, know what they are going to ask you and prepare the same questions or similar questions that you are going to ask your interviewers. To achieve this, you must research like a pro. Researching is the secret weapon. Research about the company from their website, but don't just stop there. Go beyond that and research your interviewers, at least the lead interviewer. Creating and understanding what that person is like would help you know the kind of question or what ticks that person. Secondly, ensure that you read the job description, because that helps you to create similar behavioral questions, and it just helps you prepare ahead of time the answers to your question, because preparation helps you to be there and helps you to be confident when you're speaking. Get smart questions to ask your interviewers at the end of the session. It is really important that you ask them the right question. Remember, smart questions is equal to strategic thinking, and that makes the interviewers connect with you. The last section is dress, tech, and energy check. Whether it's a virtual interview or in-person interview, you want to make sure that everything is checked and prepped for your big day. If it's a virtual interview, make sure that your tech is working, your power is great, your camera is good, the audio and everything is working well, especially your outfits. Ensure that you're dressed professionally Don't say because it's a virtual interview, you just dress casually as though you're just working to the house next door. No, it's very important that you have the same energy and you're on point as though you were in the same room with your interviewers. If any of this fail during your interview session, I am sure you're going to be destabilized, because I will be destabilized if any of this happens. So you don't want to be destabilized after working so hard and preparing. This last step is quite important. It's as important as every other step. Interviewers remember vibe as much as they remember your answers. So always remember that tip. Job interviews are involving, but so can you. Prepare smarter, not harder. Practice, research, rehearse your story, and walk into that room like though you already belong there. So, a quick wrap of the sessions that we spoke about earlier, so that in case you've forgotten any one of them, I'll take my pen and I'll take my paper and I'll jot them down. Firstly, we spoke about understanding the 2025 interview landscape, and we went through how you would understand that. Secondly, we talked about mastering your story. And in this session, we talked about an example and walked you through using the DIGS method. Thirdly, we talked about knowing what questions you'll be asked and what question you are going to ask the interviewers. And lastly, we checked all that everything was correct, that your tech was working well, the audio, the camera, your dressing, and every other subtle thing was working in line with you for that big day. If you've got an interview coming up, drop the industry in the comment section and I'll reply to you a tailored way or a tailored question that you should be expecting on that big day. Good luck to you and see you out there. Now, don't forget to like, share, subscribe if you haven't, or if you are new to this channel. We'd love to have you as part of our community.